OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. OG's turn to
Naga Siren.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Alchemist.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Crystal Maiden.
OG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Disruptor!
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Admiral Concar!
OG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Axe!
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Bristleback!
OG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Terror Blade!
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Elder Titan.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Ten seconds remaining.
Tiny.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Третья решающая карта. Faceless против bo3. Давайте поддержим команду и, конечно же, поддержим наших комментаторов. bo3 мастера, готовы последние
And it seems like in game number 3, we are indeed going to have a very different kind of game. I'm sure our analyst described it in a much more eloquent kind of way, breaking down the draft, but the dumb play-by-play caster here, Kevin, it looks like to me we're going to have a battle between Illusion Rats and tanky, like, mid-game brawlers.
Yeah, I think the tempo from the Tiny that he's going to bring, it could really upset a lot of what OG wants to do. And it kind of looks a little bit like game 1 to me, in that OG was grabbed a draft that looked pretty straightforward, things get changed up, and it goes somewhere else that we maybe didn't expect. And somehow Crystal Maiden is already casting a spell on a hero. It's going to be Jax. He wanted to prevent him from getting any wards down. He does succeed at that.
Yep, the early TP's out. I mean, that's, you already said it, right? It's like Faceless, they have the potential heroes to be very disruptive to what OG want to do with the big, mid-game burst damage that they have and a lot of team fight. It's just a question of whether or not they have a strong laning phase, right? And wards has got to be the first step to that.
Yeah. It is a little different lanes than I maybe expected, though. It's Black playing Tiny and off-lane Bristleback. A lot of the Bristlebacks we've been seeing has been a core position, but he is going to maybe need some help to be fully sustainable in his lane. With that said, though, Elder Titan's not the best early game roaming hero. He's okay, by all means, but he definitely can get shut down by some stuff.
Ooh, sneaky OG, what are you doing? They're going to back up and go for a late smoke here. A 3-man intro into the jungle. Looks like Black is going to be in a position to spot this one and probably won't be caught, but he will be losing his bounty rune most likely. At the same time, Ice is going to contest the top rune, so they could still potentially go 2 for 2, and that's exactly what happens. So OG, they are hoping to be able to contest and maybe grab the Alchemist's bounty rune, but it actually breaks down the line.
So not too unexpected to see the TB end up mid, considering the fact that they had a Naga and a TB. He's going to cast Metamorphosis level 1. He's going to attack the crap out of this Alchemist. And we'll see if that helps him get a good start. The aggro try that OG's currently running might have some trouble as well if they can do Frostbite into Torrent on Kunkka, which is certainly very problematic, but they are also very good at right-clicking opponents. They can amp damage, lower some armor with the Elder Titan as well as the Naga Siren. Maybe they can get a kill on these squishy supports.
Yeah, a zero armor Tiny. He's going to have a hard time actually getting into these creeps because he puts himself there. He's immediately going to be riptided. All of a sudden, those right clicks are doing a ton of damage. And we are going to see this turn around the Frostbite. No Torrent coming out from the Kunkka, holding on to that one. It does seem like the aggro Tri-Lane, at least to begin with, is going to have, I would say, like, naturally the advantage. And Faceless just kind of upset that by claiming a kill somehow.
Yeah, and they haven't even started to see him in the jungle either, so they're going to have some mana problems. But not too surprising, I think. Did I hear a smoke, or am I just crazy? I think I'm just crazy. Nothing happened here.
I think you are, Purge.
You're
okay. Losing it.
6 last hits now for Terrorblade. The Alchemist is 5-1. So there was basically no problem for Jabs to get last hits, and that's pretty much because he picked up a Quelling Blade level 1. Most likely. It's very difficult to deny against that advantage, even with plus 20 damage from the first meta.
And in this top lane, I'm sure it's actually not going to be too terrible for Ice. He's already kind of blown his full mana pool there to try and harass out the Axe early on. He'll have the Crystal Maiden as well to be able to help him out eventually once we start getting that Arcane Aura. So I'm sure despite it being a 1v1 melee matchup against an Axe, I presume that Bristleback is not going to be having the most problems in the world.
Yeah, with that said though, he's already picking up some magic stick charges on Axe, so eventually it's going to come down to a crucial moment where both of them try to kill each other, I think. And he does use his Shrine almost instantly just to get that mana pool. And this is one of the limitations of Bristle. You kind of need to burn through most of your mana pool to try to get a kill on the laning stage, because it all comes down to using Quill Spray like 4 or 5 times in a row. So the CM Aura picking up level 3 now definitely is a big threat against Axe, but he has some good solutions between Berserker's Call for the bonus armor as well as the magic stick.
It's always nice being able to force the Bristleback to face you.
Yeah, that could actually really
kill potential here. He actually went for the level of Viscous Nasal Goo and is going to be running down S4. Those Magic Wand charges aren't going to come into play, but this stacks up on stacks. Quill Spray is going to be able to finish him off.
Oh, no!
7 HP. Ice goes for it, but the first blood has already been taken. Nuts managed to grab that one, or Jarek's managed to grab that one on Nuts at the bottom lane before he could actually claim the kill at top. Oh, that was so close. 5 HP. And it's like a 400 gold difference, right? That first blood?
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. S4 surprisingly going down though. It was basically just came down to Ice holding his skill point. Usually you grab Bristleback, but was able to get Nasal Goo instead. And somehow he grabs the Bristleback skill, I believe. Not 100% on that one, but maybe he got 4 from the kill. Not sure, but either way, a really good kill from him. The slow helping a lot.
He picks up that side lane bottle. So this is really cool, the way that Ice is playing this one out. He used the Quills immediately, empties his mana pool, used the Shrine, really pressuring, continuing to pressure S4. This is not a lane you should win naturally, I think, as the Bristleback, but the changes to the off lane are beginning to make such a huge difference. He's now killed the Axe. He's actually got his mana pool back into play once again, thanks to that bottle and the Arcane Aura that he's going to be working with.
Yeah, so still getting more magic stick charges, but things are a bit scary here. At least he'll have Battle Hunger now. If the he gets a call, actually. This could be big.
Yeah,
no
S4
spins.
Needs the spins, and he doesn't get them.
Oh. That was a little unlucky. Got 1 spin, I believe. We needed maybe 2, maybe 3 to get a kill, but get some good damage in. But when he can just go around bottling runes like this, it's going to be a super advantage, because Bristol just has to leave the lane, hit the first rune, cross the river, get the second rune. That's 4 bottle charges.
All right, we focused on that top lane quite a bit, but we did have that kill and bottom. It looks like Faceless not feeling comfortable keeping the constant 3 versus 3. They do actually rotate the Alchemist into the jungle a little bit. He's going to be backing off. The supports will take over mid as well as that jungle with the Crystal Maiden. And then after they've given the Tiny a little bit of time, maybe they'll return back to bottom. XY in danger here. Jarek is looking for a stomp possibility. And at very minimum, force them away from the double damage Anna, who does lay a bit of chip damage on that tower.
It is really difficult for Elder Titan to land his Echo Stomp right now. The cast time is 1.7 seconds. That's so long. But if you can land it, it does give your team a lot of great setup. So they have a lot of different ways to fish for 2-man calls, for 2-man static storms, maybe more heroes if they get even luckier. And they've got that on top of the Song of the Siren as well. So
Oh, God.
it's going to be hard for Faceless to posture for team fights if they don't go in and start the fight on a good foot.
I think Faceless need to do like the same thing they did in game number 1, right? Like maintain a 2-2-1 sort of game like the whole entire time, because that is so much wombo combo power coming out from OG. Song of the Siren sleep into the ET ultimate. Oh, nice stomp there. We'll get a little damage onto Jabs. I don't think he'll be in any real danger though. A bit of body blocking, but Chemical Rage is up.
Definitely a lot safer for Anna just to focus on getting denies and last hits in that moment. But I do think that Faceless does have the solution that he had from first game, which is tanky offlaner hero who's hard to kill. S4 is not going to be able to deal with him super well. Getting killed by him really changed things a lot. And now Nut's in a great position to set up a further gank. Like Ice already does enough damage to get the axe kill, but now he's also going to have the benefit of even more disable from the CM. There's also no TP potential for Axe. I think that's what he might be relying on here.
TP into mid lane. Black is going to try and help XY, put some pressure on Anna, make sure they don't lose their tier 1 tower to the early metamorphosis. OG are notoriously good with Terrorblade, but most of the time it's on No Tail. This time around, the mid Terrorblade belongs to Anna, and he's going to be the one trying to move around and take towers. I presume, I think they still kind of operate with the same mindset, right? Is that utilize this metamorphosis super early on to bully all the outer towers down.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be the case, especially once they get like... that's a really nice thing about the TB this game. He's going to get a really fast level 7, level 8. Those first like 10 levels are huge for Terrorblade. Getting the Metamorphosis is high in damage, the Conjure Images as good as possible, the Sunder, and even if you can get a value point of Reflection early, makes a big impact in your ability to take towers. So there's very little that Faces can actually do to slow this down in the moment, especially with Alchemist as your mid. And in terms of levels, I think that's a big aspect of this game. Kunkka sitting at level 2, and pretty much all supports sitting quite low, level 3's about. So those first couple of rotations are going to be huge. But who's the hero that's most farthest behind actually is probably Naga Siren, just barely edging over into level 5 right now. So the cores are the carries themselves are going to have a lot less levels than we normally expect due to this try versus try situation.
Yeah, poor Black. 26 CS. At least he's getting the solo levels, so he's kind of okay with this situation because he can come back by getting the hero kills, right?
That's true.
Anna, gonna be popped back into the torrent. Follow up here from Black. That is not gonna be nearly enough damage to bring him down. The stomp to intercept from Jerix as well. Meanwhile, the top lane, it looks like it's actually gonna go down. Ice. Yeah. Taking very early safe lane tower, just like he did with the Abaddon.
They just haven't felt comfortable pressuring Bristol up here. Axe has been forced to sit in the jungle a lot. He knows that there's so much threat. One other hero and it'll be enough damage, but Axe is just not... He can do very well against the Bristle back in lane, but it definitely requires Ice to make some mistakes. And really, if Bristle's just as fast as you and he has enough ground to just continuously cast Quill on you, it's not too unexpected to get kills. And with that advantage, it's been hard for S4 to catch up. Still going to rush Vanguard this game. I think it's a pretty good choice. Still a good mix of damage coming from Faces, but raw HP alone is going to do a lot.
Yeah, he needs to make sure he has the survivability against that call, right? And fortunately, he doesn't have to worry about the initiation anytime soon from S4 because S4 is actually going to be going for a Vanguard of his own and obviously losing his lane.
They're rotating forward for mid.
They want to be able to push back Anna here, but the stomp onto 2. No Tails here as well. They actually want to be able to fully fight this one out. They're going to try and get some damage onto No Tails. Run him down to half. There is no escape mechanism for No Tail here, so he's going to be caught by the torrent. It looks like he is going to be brought down. Anna's trying to get some damage out. Oh, he actually survived through that one. It looks like Raindrop. Managed to allow him survive through that one. Jerix gets another great stomp in, and they finish off Black. Now Jabs is going to have to run himself away from all of this, but he is going to be ensnared up. Anna's coming in with a big time damage. They're trying to get in front of Jabs to body block him. Doesn't quite get it. The kinetic field snatches him though, and Jabs now locked against 3. Body blocks by the 2 of them, giving Anna the opportunity to lay out the swings. Another ensnare. He's got to get the armlet toggles, but it's just not in time. He misses out on that one. Black gets the toss up. The Sunder attempted. Frostbite. No! It gets the Sunder off, and OG win that fight big time. They walk away with multiple core kills. They killed 4 heroes, lost 0, I believe.
I thought for sure No Tail was dead, but if we look at Black's level, he's only level 5. That was a level 2 toss, meaning that Raindrop blocked 120 of that 150. After reduction, that's a whole 22.5 points of damage to the Naga Siren. He got the wand off afterwards, absolutely keeping him alive, and he was a big impact in some of those crucial kills.
XY pulls himself back. Nice, clever use of X marks the spot. Now, one member I didn't really feel, Ice, was he a part of that fight? Did I just miss him, or?
I didn't see him there at all, unless there was a deeper part of the engagement, but S4, who's trying to bait him to the shrine, I think, here. They're getting him pretty close. No support TP, so Ice will be fine, but S4's got Blink 20, and he's changing his build up here.
Jarex, he's been making these aggressive rotations through the jungle so many times, you figure eventually you're going to be caught. That's what happens here. Anna, you don't have Metamorphosis, so this Invis is not going to do too much besides getting maybe a surprise CS.
You know, Invis really pay off when you can cross the map to the place you want to farm safely. And it worked out there. Anna gets another 5 last hits. Big rune pickup.
Well played, Anna. As always, keeping us as casters on our toes. It's 2-5, 11 minutes in. Faceless are currently still a bit behind OG. OG, 1,000 net worth lead and about 1,500 experience after what was a huge mid-lane team fight for them. Not only took 4 kills, but also that mid-tower. And the only real member of Faceless that's looking good right now is Ice's Bristleback. Yeah,
Alchemist just barely in the net worth advantage, but not for a whole lot. Just a couple more last hits, Goblin Greed stuff. So if Bristle doesn't have an amazing game here, I think it's going to be tough, but he's very surrounded.
Call on him. They need to output as much damage during this call time while they're facing, because once he starts getting that passive, it's going to be real tough to bring him down. They do manage to get the glimpse back. Ice laying a lot of damage into the OG members, almost takes out S4 as well as Fly with the quills, but it's not quite enough. OG once again squeak on by with another successful fight, losing no heroes.
That was a biased Hellbear Smasher. Do you see that clap? I'm sure a lot of that was the quills though that came out due to some back damage. They had some slight delay in Anna using Metamorphosis and right-clicking the Bristle, so it was a little harder than it needed to be, but also just because, no, actually Berserker's calls that max duration already. The highest level in the game was actually Anna a moment ago. Still up there, but he did have some space separating it. So great rotation, Bristle kills down, and that's a lot of gold flooding towards OG's side.
Anna backs up at just the right time as the death timer completes for the Bristleback. He runs himself away. He knows that, you know, Faceless got a lot of catch. If he doesn't have the backup of his team, there's no sense sticking around. So he actually grabs a regen rune as he works his way on through. Meanwhile, Japs is playing off the offlane jungle, trying to complete his Radiance. And he is closing in on the Relic, but looks like Fly might be able to get some sort of aggressive ward down, and if they're not careful, they do see him right now. Maybe they can catch him here. They're going to leave things off.
He got rooted. And armor lower.
Thunderstrike. Jarex is going to be the stun that he throws out, but Jab still needs a lot of extra help. He is going to be stomped up. This is going to set up Fly potentially if he wants to throw off the Static Storm. Isn't going to be using it just yet. Jab's going to be brought back. He tried to go for an armlet toggle, but ends up dying to Anna's right click before he could do anything there. Bottom lane, S4 is actually kind of setting up for maybe to go on Ice if his team mass rotates, but it doesn't look like they're feeling real comfortable, so instead they just lose the tower.
A little unfortunate for Alchemist. Perfect time for that Ancient to strike.
Oh, nuts. What is this?
The Flight's just going to ulti this,
Peek out. Static Storm thrown. Nuts just needs the right click, and he does get it. But he dies first, so unfortunately unable to claim the experience for that sneak attack.
Yeah, absolutely worth it there for OG. A little bit of an experience bonus will make the difference sometimes. It does cost them Static Storm. It's maybe the only downside, but they didn't even need it to kill the Alchemist here. And what seems so clear is that OG is putting 4 of their heroes in the right place at the right time routinely, enough to kill the hero that they need to, even if that hero is really tanky. It seems so much like, how do you kill Bristleback this game? He's got a Vanguard, he's very tanky, he outputs a lot of damage, but somehow OG is getting 4 heroes that matter to the right place without getting spotted every single time they gank.
So you think Faceless just need to, maybe it's an opportunity for them to go smoke and get some aggressive vision down? You think that will help solve some of their problems?
Yeah, I'm sure that could be some of it. Their wards right now, it's mid-focused, it's entry point into their jungle, but with the tier 1 tower dead mid, there's a lot of different entry points actually. That's like the ward that Dire has near Roshan. That'd be a great place for Faceless to have a ward as well. Protects movement into the other clump of jungle that Alchemist loves farming in. And right now they do go for a smoke. They're going to try to cover through their jungle as the pressure towards the tower happens. Anna's going to take this tower real fast.
They're going to wrap around behind Anna. This tower's going to drop, but they've already completed the TP for the Tiny, so they will have additional heroes here, but they need to be able to combo them up and keep the control. S4 actually got hit by the ambulance, so he doesn't get the call. The control is not there. The Terrorblade ends up dying, unable to get off his ultimate, and now S4 is going to die as well. Great rotation by Faceless. OG thought they had the correct counterplay there with S4 standing in the jungle, but Faceless just brought enough members.
Yeah, small mistake there as well. And Anna, he was on intreads as he got tossed in the air. There's a small chance with strength that he would have stayed alive to get his Sunder off and then the wand into Sunder. But ends up getting bursted down. That's always the thing you got to be afraid of if you're playing Terrorblade. Fearing the burst, and Tiny has enough levels now. He's got the Blink Dagger. This may not be the last time that happens this game.
I feel like OG don't make that mistake very often. I think when they see opportunities when they're ahead, oh, Fly, gonna be bursted down here, but he does manage to get the Kinetic Field Static Storm with no tail, manage to get the Ensnare. That's a lot of damage laid out into Black already. Black's gonna try and juke his way through the trees, had the Blink coming up. No tail stops him, though. Are they going to be able to get the instant damage? He's going to have to Riptide at the perfect timing here. The Blink already goes off. They already have some heroes spread out, but Black is just too quick for OG.
That's very costly. They kind of had to go for the song to get the kill.
Torrent X into a boat. Jarek's going to be caught. Ice right on top. He goes for a stomp, hoping to be able to make his way out afterwards, but doesn't get it off in time.
Medallion pickup making the difference there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot more single target damage output there by Ice. And Solar Crest will follow, so he is going to be real hard to kill this game. It feels like Faceless is finally putting on the aggression they need to do. The OG heroes are killable, but it was just very difficult for them to do that earlier because they're lacking of levels. And the first couple skirmishes that went their way really allowed them to catch up, and now it's getting to the point where I was scared for OG during the draft, where their cores are definitely pressurable. They've got a lot of burst damage, and they are still tanky, kind of hard to kill. But it's the time right before Radiance. No-Tail doesn't want to run around the map fighting. He just wants to finish his Radiance so that he can offset what Alchemist is doing.
Speaking of him, he's working towards the Boots of Travel. He's been bought a lot of time thanks to the Bristleback. Everything Ice managed to accomplish with that hero. It's 7-8 right now, 17 minutes in. And that gold lead has gone back in favor of Faceless by about 2K and 1,000 experience lead. Again, Alchemist advantage does pretty much make this all kind of null and void. It seems like a game that's straight up 50-50. And Faceless kind of looking at a timing window where they are going to be very tanky, very strong in team fights, able to output a lot of damage. And do you think OG actually contests that with the Naga Siren setup, the just going for it, or do you think they try and wrap?
Ooh, it's going to be kind of hard right now. Oh, this is actually a pretty good fight for them.
Oh, this is a beautiful setup. The Static Storm does manage to snatch back onto the Tiny. It looks like they can actually kill Black with just the 2 supports, but maybe the Solar Crest is just enough until Eclipse comes in. They do have the stun. Hits onto the Terrorblade. He's pretty low, but it looks like this is just OG catching multiple heroes one by one. XY stuck inside the kinetic field. Tries to do some torrent action, but he will go down to S4's Culling Blade. So 2 pickoffs there. Great reaction there from OG. Jarek's is the one that hits that beautiful stomp.
They were positioned so well, and their Observer Ward was really set up for that. They expected Faces to do the initiation. They hid in the position that's going to give them the initiation opportunity without their opponents knowing exactly where they are. And the stomp was amazing.
Of Jabs. Jabs doesn't hit the unstable concoction on the real hero.
Fly's going to die on the top lane. No, they tried to get this nuts pick off as he goes into ward, but...
Oh, Jabs, can you juke your way through this one? Oh, Jab's been spotted. They're going to pop the Metamorphosis. They know they've got him now. Unstable Concoction is up. He sees No-Tail, hoping to be able to get a return kill, but not going to happen.
TB is actually so good against Alk this game because you get a free Radiance on your team, even if the Naga Siren isn't there. What a good pick. It's really paying off now, and he's getting a tanky area. Manta is almost up for him, and his damage output is huge. The Roche is going to go down most likely for Faceless, though. That's the upside to the Alchemist spending some time over there dying.
It would have been so much better if Japs just played a little bit more careful, right? Not just brazenly TPing in the lane, but it backed off into the jungle or something and done it. Then they would have probably still taken that Roshan and been able to go for maybe a push in the mid or something.
He's almost alive anyway, so I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And Ice now has the do stupid things item build. The Vanguard, the Solar Crest with the Aegis. You just got to get your opponents to focus you. And you may think Bristleback's not the highest damage in here. That's not true at all. Every time he casts a spell, plus 25 damage right now. And that really adds up fast with some good attack speed. So he's certainly going to be a threat, especially to the low armor heroes. Elder Titan is not that high armor. His HP is kind of weak. He did pick up a Fast Hand of Midas. This is actually a great Elder item, but he's got to turn this into his own Medallion Solar Crest so that he can survive heroes like Alchemist, Tiny, and Bristle.
There's still a good amount of control from the side of OG, not just the Song of Sirens, but you've got Disruptor and ET. Do you think how does our Bristol Black deal with those kind of kiting mechanisms?
He's just got to approach the fight from a different direction. I think that way he can hit the back line and constantly mess with them, delay their ability to just use their skills perfectly.
Right.
Because if OG gets to play around with initiations, they will find the perfect initiation. Black. Oh, great call.
Oh, S4 is going to be able to catch him out here. The Stomp's going to be able to follow that one up. They want to be able to blow up Black immediately, but they're not going to be able to get it because now Jab's able to set up here. They caught S4. The pullback there of the X does get it. Now a two-man Static Storm as the Stronger Sign fades out with the ultimate from Jarex. A wombo combo to be sure, but can Faceless still fight this one out? They've got the big hero in Ice Ice Ice, but he's running low on mana. XY is trying to help him out by being able to control some of these heroes, but it seems like Ice 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 is not going to have the mana to be able to threaten the cores, but maybe he can kill a support. That's one. Can he chase down Ana? They do have the Sunner onto Ana. Ana's going to use it immediately, just TP away. Smart move by him, but he's going to be caught by the Torrent. So maybe they can still catch him out. He turns, fights XY, doesn't have to kill him. Ice Ice Ice, he turns his back to Ana. He really wants to make sure he can get this kill, but he also can't straight up man fight the Terrorblade during the Metamorphosis, so he has to back down.
XY got a little too excited about his TP cancel, and when all you have is a Tranquil Boots and Staff of Wizardry, that's not going to be enough to tank the Terrorblade. But even when Bristle was fighting him head-on, it didn't look that survivable.
Black finds a free kill on a fly and a free trip back to base 2.
Full mana, no problem. That's what he wanted. Black's still going to have a lot of survivability problems, though. OG did a great job salvaging that team fight in a strong way.
Yeah, this is such a good Naga Siren setup game, and this is what I think OG are really special. I think another team that did it was NP, right? But you get Jarex with this ultimate with the Static Storm over the top, and these two strength heroes just melted.
And the Earth Splitter was so good. Yeah. Really helps keep them inside there a bit longer too. Faceless did a great job trying to keep them shut down. They tried to kite Iana, but at some point you're going to have to commit to getting a Sunder off. Jab's not looking too happy about that one, but there was definitely some light at the end of the tunnel with the Bristleback being strong. So
now, a big reason that fight went the way of OG, right, is they start off with the initiation. S4 jumped onto a Tiny. You talked about like being able to address the back line. That's got to be Black's job, right? With his Blink Dagger pickup, he needs to be able to catch those supports because those supports, they do not deal well with pressure, right? They don't deal well with heroes on top of them. They need these kind of very clear, analytical, you sort of, okay, we're going to set up here and place this ultimate here. They need that kind of setup, not the chaos that Tiny kind of produces.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with Song, though. It lets you interrupt fights and stop that backline pressure, that combo pressure that Black on the Tiny provides. It's always difficult to ensure that your team fight continues the way you want it to when you're against a Naga. So as long as he's got Song and he's not the one that gets bursted at the start, I see OG taking these fights very well.
This is maybe where we go back to Faceless, unless they're smoking or something that kind of ensures their initiation. Playing that 2-2-1 game, maybe we go back to that and just stay away from the team fights of OG, since at least for now they do seem to be the superior opponents.
They're going high ground. That's a base right there.
With the Metamorphosis, toss back onto S4 into all of those illusions.
They don't have Glyph for like 6 seconds. I think the tower's just dead.
It is going to be dead. Can Faceless actually get a fight out of this one, though? They're going to catch Ana with X marks the spot, pull him back. There goes the Song of Siren, though. There's no BKBs. They want to fight this? No. I think a full retreat is exactly what OG need here. Ana's going to be a little bit slow making his way back. Fortunately, he does use an illusion to stop Black and his Blink Dagger. So OG should be able to make a clean escape. And again, this is the dynamicism that Naga Siren really brings to the whole entire lineup. It's being able to use this ultimate to both set up team fights as well as call full retreats.
Yeah, it's so difficult to play around it. Reminds me a lot of the Enigma pick. Different heroes, but I feel like the Disruptor is a hero they planned out to make this work. Teams kind of started giving up on things like Naga Siren bans first round. We saw it at DAC. It really helped out, but there's other heroes that combo with it. I mean, it was seen as well, that's going to stop the Enigma setup, but Disruptor on top of that with some of these other heroes like Elder Titan, it's made the fight so hard, even if some of their lanes weren't perfectly ideal. Nuts looking to be in some trouble here. Does get just a little bit of aggro top. He gets a chop off as well. Just a simple walk forward, call, blade mail, easy kill.
And he is going to have a BKB in no time if he continues to find those kind of pickoffs. Meanwhile, X on the fly. Fly's going to try and stop this by aggressively using Static Storm, but still gets pulled back. he does end up going down. OG rapidly rotating into the jungle, but does seem like Alchemist is not going to be sticking around. He's going to use his illusions to farm out the lane. And that is something that OG still have to worry about, right? Is that they are going to hit this really good mid-game timer, it seems like, with the Terror Blade and their Naga Siren both being very farmed. But you start pushing this a little bit too late, and this Alchemist, he completes his rat build, he kind of prolongs the game. They were giving away Aghanim Scepter, all of which, every single one of the heroes from Faceless can take one.
That's true. I don't know if I'm super sold on them, though. I think the Go Shift, the Kunkka Eggs can be really, really effective. CMs could be really good, too, because of Frostbite against Illusions, but...
You don't like the Bristleback one? I think it's pretty legit.
It's definitely very good. I think that's definitely their first go-to, just because of the fact that he is the most farmed hero on his team, and him getting in there and providing some AoE control would be really effective. They're all pretty good. I just don't feel like it's going to make a massive difference in the team fight wins. It only does if they're the ones on the chase. If they're the ones on the chase, if he has a lot of time to hit the back line, put slow on all of them, and get his team to fall off, it's going to work great. But there's just so much control around Song of the Siren and around getting the Axe Call into the Elder Titan hitting the back line.
What you're saying is it's not like a Weaver Ags or a 9-star. It's not one of those game-changing moments, right? And oh, Black! I mean, it's a little bit disappointing. Oh, no! The call from S4! Saving the life of Fly!
I cannot believe he's still alive. That would look like the most dead disruptor I've ever seen. Song going on somewhere.
Yeah, he used it also to try and save our disruptors, so...
I think maybe looking for backline heroes, expecting like Kunkka to be behind. I didn't see him
that's true.
Something like that maybe.
Yeah,
it's not the biggest loss either. It's 100 seconds. It's a bit, but they're fine for now with the dead Tiny.
If you're Faceless, do you think you try and take advantage of this timing? Your Tiny's coming back up. You know, Song of Siren's down, or you're just down to prolong the game and play it safe.
Oh, I would definitely don't want to prolong the game in this game. I think OG has way too much team fight control for that. I think you have to keep doing these little pokes like Black did, or tried to do. I mean, he did it very well against the TNC yesterday with his Slark, but it's a little harder on Tiny. If you can't kill the squishiest hero on the map, that's a bad place to be in. Maybe if he has an Echo Saber, that's a kill. Pretty much for sure. Shadow Blade helped, I bet, but maybe something could have been min-maxed a little better, but Black's got to be the one to find the kills, and if Tiny doesn't keep getting kills, he will not scale as well, especially in the face of all this minus armor. It's a big weakness.
Our BKB timings, Ice does have his, so the Song of the Siren is going to be a little less reliable, not just being able to escape, but also being able to set up. Bristleback is just one hero. He won't be able to go on. As far as the others, though, Alchemist is still trying to complete his rat build. He actually has the Radiance Manta and went for the Shivas early on before the Octarine. I'm presuming at some point after the Octarine, we're going to have to consider a BKB.
Yeah, he has to get the Shivas because of all the minus armor between the Elder Titan. It'll remove 9 of his base armor, which with just the armlet would leave him around, what, 9 or something like that. It's not really enough when you put a medallion on top of that, as well as the Riptide. You have to go for an early armor item, or you're just going to get ripped apart in fights. So slightly forced. It will delay his farm split push, which definitely gives OG a split push advantage with an auto.
Smoke for smoke. Faceless as a 4-man crew pushed out. Look for something in the enemy jungle. OG playing very defensively around their shrine. Also pop a smoke.
I'll see him reveals. So they know they can pressure forward now.
Yeah, they're very rapidly closing in. They're going to try and cut off some of these members of Faceless, I think.
I don't know if they know there's still to the left, though. There's very likelihood they walk left, TP, get a different position. And OG's still playing it safe, not using Metamorphosis just yet. They know there's a glyph because it wasn't used in the last fight.
Black's on the hunt. Boom. Boom. Unfortunately, he's got to get some sort of combination with his team. And again, if you're not going on the Naga, then she's going to be using Song of Siren to save whatever hero you do the toss combination with. And as we've already talked about, he's not strong enough to just burst that hero by himself.
He's getting really tanky as well. He's got the Soul Booster now. Saving up for the Octarine to get the really low cooldown Song of the Siren.
S4. So messed up his blink, it looks like.
Maybe took damage from the Radiant Illusions, something like that.
Yeah.
But the illusions spread across the map, continue to farm everything.
Oh, call, not quite there. Nuts will stop him. but they do have the glimpse. Now Black is actually going to jump in. They do manage to get a two-man with a stun combination. The Static Storm is out. Ice. It's up to him to chase down these heroes. He's still BKB'd and ensnared. He's trying to get to Jarex. A nice concoction, actually, from the tail end of that one. Managed to catch two heroes, and Ice will manage to grab that kill onto Jarex, but it felt like that was still a lot blown by Faceless in order to just kill a support, but maybe because the Song of Siren has been used, it also opens up Roshan.
Yeah, they can kill so fast as well.
Look at how many illusions there are!
That's a lot of gold, though.
That's a goddamn army.
They're farming it, though. That was a good 150 gold they just gained. A couple illusions on cooldown. They got to keep an eye on Roche, though. It can die really fast against Bristleback with a Solar Crest, so they'll get in there. They'll slap him a little bit. They just want them to know that they're watching him. So he knows that if there's vulnerabilities that they will punish it, which makes it a lot less confident to just slowly kill Roche. So up in 6 seconds for the Elder Titan.
That's right, Faceless. All these illusions spreading all over the map. Every step you take, move you make, OG will be watching you. That's why they need to be using some smokes, some Shadow Blades. Get in there to the back line. Black has had a little bit of rough time finding these initiations so far, and it's going to be even harder once this Octarine comes up. I
really thought Faceless was going to get punished when he blinked aggressively into this game. It seemed like the most obvious Static Storm. It was a great Static Storm, but the BKB coming from Bristleback just did way too much. They still need some big armor items to protect their backline, and Black is still making some pressure happen.
I really need him to connect with another kill because he needs a BKB too, right?
Yeah.
Like, he can't afford to every single time be stalled up by the Song of Siren and caught inside Static Storm. So they need him to have a BKB, as well as, I'm presuming the Alchemist is eventually going to get a call out onto Nuts, as for cornered the poor Crystal Maiden and made her his. 14-19, 32 minutes in. Ice being chased along by illusions all over the place. They're going to be able to get the glimpse back here. Maybe, just maybe, they can actually bring Ice down. Now he's going to pop his BKB, fearing all the damage that's coming out. Oh, look at it again. The Song of Siren mixed with the BKB. Again, it plays against Faceless. OG are going to be able to catch multiple heroes now that Ice is down. They immediately put their attention onto Jabs. So the Stable Concoction goes out. Here comes the ship, actually, but S4 managed to get the call onto Jabs. That gives No Tail a little bit of space to be able to work with. They get the ensnare, kiting this hero. 2 down from Faceless. Asunder goes out as well. That'll be XY caught. OG, a great team fight for them. They just know the ins and out of this Naga Siren hero and how to use that ultimate.
They really do. They did perfect attack moving to guarantee the kill on the Bristleback, and instantly with the chop right into position to combo it from a kill into a further setup. The Alchemist did a lot of damage staying alive, though. It was pretty impressive how low everybody was by the end of the fight, but the fast Scotty here on Anna has just given them so much advantage because they just simply can guarantee slow all the important cores.
Look at this. Ice. Pulled back. And they're kind of thinking about maybe we don't focus him. Anna makes the call. Ice pops that BKB, and boom, there goes the Song of Siren. And all of a sudden, it doesn't really matter if you have that passive going on. It doesn't really matter because there's 4 heroes all targeting you, and you're the only one being targeted. Everyone else is asleep.
And X1 in the backline doing everything he can to slow things down, but not able to affect it. OG is able to get Roche in the meantime with all of the dead Faceless heroes. And now they're going to start pushing across the map, finishing off the rest of the towers, and really start closing out the game. Everything up until this point felt pretty neutral. The map was pretty split across the middle. Black's looking for kills, but he wasn't effective enough at finding them.
Lotus Orb being built up. Who was that? I saw our Bristleback is actually building into an AC. Oh, there. That's the Thunder. It's one way to get full health.
Oh, it was.
Elder Titan, or excuse me, Kunkka has the Lotus Arc queued up. That's what I was looking for.
Okay. Fuel's almost finished as well. Oh, there's so many items on the courier.
Yeah, OG are just getting like so much. And I see like Faceless, and there's all these items they really need to have. The BKBs, the Lotus Orb, like in order to actually make these team fights work for them, or even have a chance at being able to make it work. The problem is they're losing out on all their space. Like the map is completely controlled by OG. There's illusions funneling in everywhere. They start beating on the Tier 3 tower at the bottom lane. Send back there. Whoa-oh, they just lost their Alchemist.
That's not good at all. They maybe can start a fight to delay this, but Terrorblade's got Aegis. He's
S4 gets the call onto the Tiny in the back lines. Anna immediately helps with the illusion, but Black does get a 4 staff away. Now, Nuts actually stopped by the Static Storm. That ultimate's not going to last for long. Anna's actually dropping pretty low here. Maybe they can take away that Aegis, but there goes the Song of Siren. Ice 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 comes forward. There goes the Sunder. He says, thank you very much for a full heal. OG start backing away, but the Song of Siren's down. Maybe they can still fight this one out. Ice 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 is going to be taken down, but No-Tail's down to half health. The beautiful Torrent, as well as the follow-up Unstable Concoction, but S4's going ham in the back lines. Managed to catch Tiny, pulls him down. Jabs still really needs this kill onto Anna. They cannot afford to be using all this and not claim some kills, so they are going to be able to get Anna here. That's life number one. OG, can they actually save their core? They're going to try and set up with Yale the Titan Stomp. Anna slowed down. Stomp is going to be dodged here, controlled up by the X, and they give up. They're like, nope, Anna, sorry, you're dead. And the rest of OG going to bail.
A very good defense there by Faceless, able to hold the high ground. And it all came down to the Song of the Siren being used and Naga Siren being vulnerable still. If she had the Aegis, things go a little better, but unfortunately he had to use Song to try to help his allies stay alive. And that just wasn't enough when they were able to focus him. So small tactical mistake there by OG gives Faceless some breathing room because they punished it well.
That is BKB for the Tiny complete. And that S4 call, I thought for sure, like, oh, he's donezo. But with the combination of the invis and the force staff back, those shots from Anna couldn't bring him down.
They wasted Static Storm as well. This put Terrorblade in a really bad position. Felt like Songin was the only way to save him there. And No-Tail sitting probably too far forward here. His HP is not very good. His armor certainly not very good. He's even taking tower damage.
This beautiful Torrent that hits on two.
It really was the X on No-Tail that helped guarantee that he stayed out of position. Probably why he was in the front so long.
Yeah. Faceless, you could definitely see. I mean, they gave up the Naga Siren again. They obviously had a game plan. The game plan was Alk and Kunkka, two of the better heroes to address the various ways that Naga Siren works.
Well, there's no Aghanim Scepters pulled yet, but it's about time. Jabs is 6 slotted here. Looks like he's going to opt for an AC. Probably will replace his armlet just to make his hero even harder to kill. It's going to make Terrorblade less effective at killing Alk, and most importantly, even more counteraction from the Elder Titans amplify damage.
Are you still thinking Bristleback first? Because he's no longer as farmed, as ahead of everyone else. Well, I'm kind of feeling the Kunkka, you know, the group up mechanism of the ship with all these AoE abilities, Unstable Concoction, the Avalanche.
I think it all depends. He's not going for a blink deck. I've kind of theory crafted a blink on him potentially. Blink to the back of the crew, boat towards your team, vacuum, bring them out of position. That could be amazing. But I don't think Kunkka boat is the Ags right now. It's definitely good in purpose. Maybe Tiny, but Tiny's still doesn't have armor. He can't actually fight. He's queuing up a butterfly because he knows there's an Ags in his history, or in the future that is. But I think it's got to be Bristle, I guess. Looking at it, it's gonna go for a Lotus Orb. Actually, yeah, still Lotus Orb for Bristle. Yeah, that could be good. Reflect Sunder. That's actually a huge tool that they could have used.
Yeah, it seems like they're communicating, they're kind of passing off the duty of these items. AC going to the Alchemist instead of Ice Ice Ice, who had it queued up. We are going to have that Assault Cuirass pretty soon here, but not soon enough for this team fight that OG are looking to force.
Okay, uses an Experience Tome on Alk to try to hit 25 just a little bit faster. This could help a lot. -5 Acid Spray armor. It's a big impact against these really tanky illusions. Not to mention the backline.
You know what the dirty part of this purge is? Look how far back they are.
That's okay.
You know what that is? You know what that is? That's them dodging the extra armor on towers. These illusions are actually hitting a lot more because they're sitting just far enough back that this tower is not getting a whole lot of extra armor.
And towers got reduced if heroes aren't there, which means that illusion split push was actually buffed in the last patch.
It was. I knew you'd like that one, Purge.
I didn't even think about that, man. You got it, though. That's it.
Tier 3 gonna drop. Anna pushes forward with the Metamorphosis. Oh, that is going to be S4 catching the Bristleback. Can they bring him down in time? The Unstable Concoction is going to stop the damage, but they have the Song of Siren. Looking to reset things. They're going to go for the Bristleback. He does have a BKB, though. He's going to pop it instantly, but he's still slowed down. Black, Anna's not sure who to focus. He goes for the supports in the back line. Already taking out the Kunkka. Nuts also falls, while S4 controls up the 2 cores. They're dropping fast. Ice Ice Ice. He managed to take 1 kill. Jab's getting clean up the rest. They're all pretty low, but the damage is too much. He is the only one that has buyback. OG look to just overwhelm Faceless now at the 40-minute mark.
And they're able to pick up the gem as well. Anna on the back line with the song setup, got in the perfect position to clean up the fight. Fly as well, guaranteeing those supports couldn't stop him from doing that bout of damage from the back line. And without the Kunkka to keep those heroes out of position, without the Crystal Maiden to stop the cores from right-clicking, Jabs just couldn't do enough damage on the back line. That's not Alchemist's job. He wants to keep them busy, and he did that kind of, but he needs some backup.
There is no more Metamorphosis, and some of these heroes are about to come up. Maybe Faceless can still hold here. They have one last lane of racks. They're going to use the Sunder for the little bit of extra HP. OG are full committing here to try and get the Mega Creeps. Jabs jumps forward, trying to go for Anna. Song of Siren being used. That is why they did that, because they knew they had this fail-safe plan. They can always pop the Song of Siren as soon as the fight comes to them and they feel uncomfortable.
Not able to gap close. They really wanted to get an X off there. It could have been a big kill, but not going to catch Fly either. Full Ags now for Disruptor.
Oh no.
Ooh,
those BKBs are no longer useful.
This is like the OPI win the team fight no matter what thing. I mean, OG's been looking at this stuff for weeks and months. The Song into Black Hole. Can't stop that unless you have the BKB break. Song into you can't cast items and your silence no matter what. That's also very abusable. Could be great against Bristleback, potentially good against Alchemist. There's so many good things about what OG's lineup does scaling into the super late game, and they're not even, they just got started really on the items that combo well with it.
A monster lead for OG right now, and they're just one melee and one ranged racks away from Mega Creeps. They've got I don't see any other way. Faceless have to find the initiation. They have to be able to push out, because otherwise they're either going to get ratted or they're going to get another Song of Siren setup that they can't do. So Faceless has got to make some sneaky moves, but it's OG who are once again going to take the first step. They smoked up.
They do see the Observer Ward. Will they break it? Okay, they put their own ward down. They're going to leave it up there. They don't want to reveal that they're here, so maybe S4 can grab an initiation. Oh, goes on the illusion.
That's not what they were hoping for, but maybe they saw the catch. No tail. Okay. This is not going to be a full-out spread. He's going to try and get the Static Storm with multiple heroes, but to take down Jabs first. The regen, not going to be enough. He's down for 2 minutes. Now the rest of Faceless, good call on to 2. Again, the 2 cores controlled up by S4. Freezing Field, let it go. Nuts, might as well let it go because there's not much left in the tank for Faceless. They're getting overrun by OG. They storm the base with Anna, taking a melee Rex, finishing up with the range Rex. Black goes in the back line. That's just an illusion, my friend. Black. Ice, ice, ice. He can't deal with these illusions, and neither can Black. The damage is just too much from Anna. Mega Creeps is up. Faceless don't want to go out of this tournament. They knocked TNC out to be here. They don't want to fail Southeast Asia like this, but it seems like OG are just one step ahead.
Man, they picked all the heroes that combo well. It's their style. This feels like OG at its base. They made it work with this TB plus Naga. I doubted it a little bit. But man, No Tail's early rotations at 6 were incredible. He's farm? No, I'm here to fight. I got to make up for something because we have this weird draft. And then their late game execution, their mid game execution was just flawless.
I'm sure other teams are going to be learning from Faceless here.